Okay, so we're going to do some searching using the text words. Now we've already decided to split up our search into the different concepts using our PICO framework, and now we need to pick one of those elements in the framework to start searching with. Now I'm going to search using the ibuprofen term. So to start with text words, you type in your first term. So let's type in ibuprofen. Okay. You then have a number of different options within the field searching to search for your text word. It defaults always to title and abstract, but if you click on more fields, you can see you've got lots of different options here to choose from if you want to search. Most people stick with the default though, so let's do that. So we've typed in our term, the default is title and abstract, and then we click on search. This takes us through to line 1 of our search in Embase. We've searched for our term ibuprofen in the title and abstract field, and we have 13,500 results. Now the thing is not to panic at this stage when you see large results, because the more terms you add in and the more concepts you add together, the smaller that number will become. And in fact, it's quite useful to see larger numbers here because we don't want to miss anything at this stage. So that's our first part of our search. The second is to think about, well, how else was ibuprofen known? And we need to search on all the different terms or synonyms that relate to that concept. So we had brufen, so we type in brufen. We leave the default to title and abstract, and we just click on search. This takes us through to line 2 of our search, and what we see is Embase, brufen in the title and abstract. This time there's 36. The next step is to think, well, was there any other terms that we used for ibuprofen? Well, yes, there was just one more, which was Nurofen. So let's type that in, Nurofen. And we have the title and abstract default there, and we click search. Okay, so we now have 3 lines of our search, ibuprofen, brufen, and Nurofen. These are all the terms we can think of that describe that concept, that intervention. So the next thing we need to do is to put these terms together. Now when we're combining terms together, we can use the boxes down the side and the combine function here with the and the or displayed here. So you need to tick the lines that you want to combine together. So we want to put all our ibuprofen terms together. And because they all mean the same, they're all related, we need to make sure that we tick or because it defaults to and. And then we click combine selected. And then we end up with line 4 of our search, and within line 4 of our search will be all the results that talk about ibuprofen or brufen or Nurofen, and it will get rid of the duplicates. So that's our first concept done. Now we move on to our second concept, and we're going to search for our comparison, paracetamol. So we do it the same way. So we type in our first term, paracetamol. We leave the default to title and abstract, and we just click search. Now the reason I'm typing in each term separately rather than in one line is because if I make an error spelling any of these terms, it will be obvious here because this will be 0 or very low, so we'll be alerted to it very quickly. So that's our paracetamol term. How else was paracetamol known? Well, we had Calpol, didn't we? So we can put that in. So we type in Calpol, default to title and abstract, and we click search. So that's our second concept now, paracetamol, or comparison terms. Now we need to think about putting these together. And we need to select the 2 lines that talk about our paracetamol terms, and because they mean the same, we're going to combine with or. And we click combine search. And we've now going to end up with 2 concepts to our search complete. All our ibuprofen terms are going to be in line 4, and all our paracetamol terms are in line 7. And we want articles that talk about both ibuprofen and paracetamol, so now we can start to build our search in logical order. So we want all our terms in line 4 and all our terms in line 7. This time it defaults to and we click combine selected. And this will now put our 2 lines together. Okay, and what you see is that we now end up with 1074. But this isn't the end of our search because obviously we now have a condition to search on as well. So now we can type on fever. So we type in our term fever, defaults to title and abstract, and we click search. In the same way, fever is also known as febrile. So we just type in the term febrile, leave the default to title and abstract, and click search. And our final term was pyrexia, and we go on adding in our synonyms in this way until we don't have any more to do. So pyrexia and search. Okay, so this is our third concept of our framework done, our condition, fever. So now we've got all our fever terms together, we now need to put them together and combine them together in the right way. And again, because they mean the same thing, we're going to use or to do it. So if we select our 3 lines with our fever terms in, if we select or, and we select combine, and this will leave us with one line of our search which has all the articles that talk about either fever or febrile or pyrexia. And the final step then is to then combine it back into our search. So we know that in line 8 we have all our terms that talk about ibuprofen and paracetamol, but we want articles that talk about both of these things and fever. So we now choose the line that has all our fever terms combined and we and it back in. Click on Combine selected. And we end up with 142. There is one more element to search on, and that is our children terms, but we're going to use the limits to do that, and we're going to look at limits in a little while. But putting together a basic search using text words, remember, think about each of your concepts that you want to search on, choose one of the concepts, so interventions, search on the intervention terms separately, make sure you don't make any spelling mistakes, combine the things that mean the same with or are related in some way, and then combine your different concepts with and. And that's how you start to build up a structured search using the text words.